actually imprisoned right now. I support that. I gotta get through this light though. Alright, see ya. Just thinking about those protesters standing in the street, putting their bodies in harm's way, essentially, to get a message across. And I was just thinking, I wish that they had brought some lights to shine on themselves at this time of night, or to like be attached to them, just so that they have a little bit more safety while they're on the street at this time of night or in the darkness. I don't know how long they're planning on standing there for, or how long they've been there. That was as far north on this side of town as I've gone so far tonight. I haven't gone up to Jefferson yet until then tonight. And I'm always taking a left at Jefferson, so if the fact that they blocked it off right there, the rest of 4th, it's fine. I mean, I shouldn't say always. There's sometimes I want to go further up 4th, but not that big of a deal if people want to stand and block it off right there. That's a perfect spot, actually. A lot of people are turning at Jefferson or at Clay before then. That's all. All right, well, that one was a cash delivery. The total on it was $20.38, and the man literally handed me $20.38, like exact change. That's not usual. That's not usual. Usually if someone's paying with cash and there's like an odd amount like that, they will give $1 over that if they're not planning on tipping. Like it'll be just a little bit more, but no, he didn't want to tip me at all. And he said, sorry, I don't have more than that. It's my birthday. And I was just like, okay, that's all right. Like, what else do you want me to say that? I'm not going to tell you happy birthday because you're being a jerk to me on your birthday. Like, just because it's your birthday doesn't mean that you don't have to tip your service delivery people. So you want me to give you a birthday gift? My tip is your birthday gift? Is that what that means? That, like, it's your birthday and so I should sacrifice my tip for you? And again, like, maybe this is me just sounding entitled to a tip, but yes, I do feel entitled to a tip. You guys have to understand that part of the people who are paying me is you, the customer. I don't get fairly paid unless you, the customer, chooses to pay me. And when you choose not to pay me, it hurts me every single time. It really does. It really does. It hurts me. Now, like, I'm already kind of like feeling behind tonight. Now I have to go make up for that run. The only thing it had going for it is that it was a quick delivery. Like, it wasn't far from the store, just a little round the block thing down on First, and I'll be back in the store soon. And that they were right there ready to receive it. So like that makes it better than some deliveries where I get stiffed. But yeah, every stiff hurts, and I don't care if it's your birthday. Happy birthday, I guess. Hope that whatever amount of tip you should have been giving me, the $3 to $5 for that drop. Hope that feels like a really nice birthday gift for you. It feels like less wages for me. Oh, I just had my second 0 in a row, and in between that I was in the back kitchen putting expiration dates on sodas, so like I haven't been doing a steady runs, and so I'm officially starting to fall behind in earnings tonight, unfortunately. Too bad about this one. This was a close by building over on Park Avenue. I think it is a lot of students who do live there, but this is one of those ones where they typically will tip you something, so I kind of was expecting to get a bill on that one. The only positive thing I have to say for it is that the guy was outside waiting for me and ready to take the handoff right away. So not as annoying of a 0 as it could have been. But guys, going broke tonight. I'm not going broke yet. I'm just going to par, which you know how I feel about that. I just had a drop on one of the buildings I haven't been to yet on Harrison Street, which is actually one of my favorite streets to deliver on. It's just a couple blocks away. The street itself is a couple blocks away from us, and there's a streetcar that goes right down the center of the street, but you can drive in the streetcar tracks lanes and stuff. And then it's kind of a rare street where there's little areas across the median that you can do a U-turn, which is kind of just unusual. It's just an unusual street. It's a two-way street, you know, but with the streetcar going down the middle. Anyway, all the buildings off that street, there's like usually a tiny little circle drive with maybe a small parking lot in the front of those buildings. And they're typically pretty high buildings, like 15, 20 floors, something like that. And so typically you drive into one of these, they usually will give you a door code to get up their elevator. This guy actually just said call and he'd meet me at the door, and he did, and he was very nice. But yeah, I like those drops because people in those buildings also typically will tip you. So you're usually going to walk away with some bills. And in fact, like last night, I went to one of the buildings on that street. A guy handed me 10 single dollar bills. He was also one of the tallest people I've ever seen in my life. But that was a good run. So like anytime I get a Harrison Street run, I'm down for it. I love that. It's a quick, easy drop. Usually there's a bill on it. You can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than that. And often when you get one of those, you're sent out on a double. So I'm now going down to the South Waterfront on my double. Oh, but I guess that's what I meant to say. The guy, I'm still working on my transactional language with people and how to do these handoffs and wanting to give people a good customer experience and stuff like that. One of the things that I've kind of learned is that you don't really ask people how they're doing. That's not really a question that is going to elicit a lot of good responses. You can say like, how's it going or something, but don't ask them how is your evening or how are you doing, because that can be weird. But like I've had some people where they sigh and like that's not the question you want to ask. And that's kind of how it is when people ask me that question. So every now and then I will get a customer who wants to ask me how I am doing. And that's a loaded question. Some nights I'm doing fine and I will say as much, but this one he was just like hopefully your evening's going well. And I was like, it's slowing down. But you know, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your order. I don't know. Like I'm terrible at telling people the news they want to hear instead of the thing that is actually real for me. So sorry if you're hoping to hear something better than that. Anyway, I got to get my nav back on. I need to see where I'm going on the waterfront. I think I'm going south. So my second drop, he was so kind when he answered the door. He hands me like $6 in cash and he's like, hey, I'm sorry. I would try to order on the website tonight and I could not do it. So I had to call the call center. And then I like forgot to ask them about that. And I was like, oh, you know, I've heard with the call center that you can't put a tip on that one anyway. So I do appreciate the cash very much. Thank you so much. But it's like so weird. Like I've heard this kind of thing before that like people can't figure out how to use the app right, or the website is down like this. Like, and then I've heard from multiple people that with the call center, it's not possible to do a tip on a credit card. But I don't know. So like, I guess the only way that somebody can credit card tip me is if they use the app to order. And I don't know if the website and the app are the same. Like I have never tried any of our ordering entry other than like trying to take somebody's order in the store, which is absolutely heinous. It's absolutely terrible. And I'm like, if you can design an app or a website that can take an order down, you should be able to fix this POS. But no, it's a struggle. Anyway, gotta go. But my point is just that it should be easier for people to choose to tip me on a credit card, because a lot of people, that's how they're wanting to pay, is with a card. And so like call center not being able to put a credit card tip in, that's absolutely unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. Like that, I don't know how many of our orders go through the call center, but I imagine it's a good amount. So that many people who, like some of them might be cash orders and then there's a chance there will be a tip on that one. But if there's a credit card order at all on that one, I just have to hope that they're going to furnish some cash. But a lot of them are going to choose to stiff me because they're going to feel like they've already paid. And they have. But it's like, enable me to get a credit card tip on the call center. Why is that not enabled? Like it's 2025 now, and in 2020 from the pandemic, all kinds of restaurants had to adjust to digital ordering and credit cards and things like that, like being able to order a different way and deliver a different way. And you know, the pizza business, like we've been doing delivery orders since before delivery orders were a thing that everybody does. So we should have this under control. And if you know your delivery drivers, like a large part of their compensation is tips, you've got to make it easy for us to make tips. You've got to. So I just ran a re-delivery. That's where we had an attempt to deliver and it failed for one reason or another. In this case, we didn't have the right phone number. So whoever was driving it wasn't able to make contact with them the first time. This time he was waiting for me outside. It was a cash collect, and I double checked with my manager before leaving the store that I was expected to collect cash, because sometimes I've been thinking that I'm supposed to collect cash, and I've gotten customers angry with me because they were expecting not to have to pay anything. So yeah, so anyway, we were to collect, and I went to collect. I gave him the total, which was just under $38, and he gave me like $45, and I'm like, thank you, you tipped me even though you had a delivery that didn't quite work out right. Because oftentimes when there's those, I'm always like I will take a delivery out for sure. It's my job. I'm gonna do my job. But oh man, the view over here on Vista is fantastic. Damn. Anyway, there's always a risk that the person, they've already had kind of a bad experience. They might decide to take it out on me and my tip. And that was not the case today. He actually did pay me a tip, and I felt very appreciative of it. This is very nice. So thank you very much, sir, for tipping your delivery driver, even though your first delivery didn't quite make it to you. All right, so I just ran a double up into the OHSU hills, but beyond there, oh, sorry about that. And both of them tipped me. Both of them were $3 bills, which is beautiful. So I got $6 on that entire run, which is a worthwhile adventure. And now I'm going back to the store and I'm expecting my break. I was told I could have a break after this run. And I'm at $57 on my total for tonight. Normally by the time I want to take my break, I kind of have this goal of having like 60, 65, 70 bucks by that point in the night. If I have 70, I'm doing really, really well, but I really want to make like 60 bucks by that point. Like a little over half my target is always my goal by the time I'm making my break. So I'm close to that. I'm at 57. It's close. But so far the tips are just a little on the light side tonight. Not the worst night I've ever had by any shake. So we're doing okay. And you know, you never know. Maybe there will be some late runs that are lucrative. That can happen sometimes. So we'll see how the night goes. I might still make my target yet. But in the meantime, I'm just excited to get my break. That's the other thing I meant to mention though, is that my first ticket on my double run, it had a no-knock instruction. Something about dogs or their neighbor having PTSD or something like that. I don't really remember what the note said fully, but it was definitely a no-knock instruction where that felt like an important thing to know. And so I was really proud of myself that I noticed it before leaving the store, and I was like all prepared to not knock and just drop. But then they met me out on the street. They came out and met me, so which is fine. Actually, that's my favorite drop is where I drive up to the location, the person is right there ready to receive, and we can hand it off within a matter of seconds to one another, you know. That's my favorite. So I didn't mind that. I was just like, man, I was ready. I was ready this time to not screw it up. That's all. I just dropped to a point down on South Harbor Way, which is a little bit of a secluded area, but not hard to get to. You just have to wait at some lights that are a little tricky. And there's one left turn light that is red often that you think like this should be a blinking yellow light. So if the traffic is clear, I will often run that one. Don't tell anyone. I did nothing of the sort. I did nothing of the sort. Anyway, that couple was waiting out front for me, and they were like, we realized that they lock the doors here after a certain time. And I was like, oh, well, thank you so much for meeting me. That really helps a lot. So ideal. There are a lot of people who are not aware of the rules of the building that they're staying in, whether they live there or whether it's a hotel. This is often the case at hotels, that at a certain time of night they will lock the front door, and then it means that I end up having to either see if the concierge will let me in, which some of them they will not, like the Hilton doesn't help you on that one. Others you can be let in, so it just depends where you're going. But I often find myself calling the customer at that point to just come meet me at the door. And so if they have already anticipated that and are ready to meet me, it really helps matters a lot. So I appreciated it. Plus there was a bill on it. I appreciate it. All right, I just did a drop. It was a nice double drop because both of the bags were at the same location. So my first person was there already. His was cash order. He paid with a $5 bill on it for a tip for me, which is lovely. Second guy comes down and he was getting out his phone and asking about whether he could tip in a different way, and I was like, oh, I don't do Venmo or any of those things, but thank you anyway, appreciate it. And then I went on my way. Yeah, I get asked that sometimes, where someone would like to leave me a tip and they would like to offer it to me on a Venmo or a Cash App or something like that, and I don't do that. Now, if you're watching my videos here and you would like to leave me a tip, I would appreciate that, so go ahead and do that. I don't know if I've put my handles on anything. Maybe I'll put them on the screen here. But I do have a Venmo and a Cash App. And the handles are slightly different, but they both are Bun Snip. One of them has straw in the name. I don't remember which is who. Anyways, yeah, while I'm working my job, you got to tip me either cash or have tipped me in the app. I'm not accepting Venmo and Cash App, just because like I'm not trying to give out my contact information either, you know. And yeah, it's just it's not how I'm trying to collect tips while I'm on my job. Okay, if you want to buy me a coffee or give me some appreciation otherwise, because I'm a content creator, not that anybody really watches these videos, I don't get a lot of views, but if you want to do that for me, I do appreciate it. Actually, there was one of my videos recently where I was crying. I was talking to my sibling the other day and I was like, yeah, it's that video where I was crying, and she's like, which one? I'm like, yeah, I'm always fucking crying. I know, I'm a crybaby. But there were a couple commenters who were like, do you have a Cash App? Do you have a Venmo? I'm sure there would be people who would be happy to tip you here. And so I didn't like generally post about that, but I did reply to their comments and give my handles. And there were a couple people, like 2 or 3, who did choose to send me a tip that way, and it helped me to make up for the bad night that I had when I made that video. So like it did cover the difference, so I was very appreciative. That's all. All right, I just made a drop to one of my favorite buildings to drop off at, which is a building called the Art Tower. I think it's over here where there's like up around the block there's some plays. The Art Repertory Theater is on the other side of the block, but just around the block there's the Art Tower, and it's a living space. And the nice thing about it is there's a spot inside the lobby for food delivery drops. And so all the resident has to do is either buzz you in with their name on the door code, or give you a door code to buzz yourself in, which is what I was given today. Although their little touchpad was not reading my touches very well, so that was a little bit hard. Yes, this is the one. Yes, this is the one I was trying to get on the freeway here. Okay, getting onto our shoot down here on Taylor Street. Nice shoot. Very good quick run here. Nothing obstructing us in any way, shape, or form. Oh, but I was gonna say, so the person at the Art Tower, they had left a tip on their card that made their total on their order $33.33, and I noticed that, and I thought that was really cute. I was like, oh, I appreciate that. I like when people do fun math with me. So one time somebody left a $6.66 tip for me, and I appreciated that too. I thought it was funny. But the cool thing is that brought my tip total, that tip I just got, up to $99.99. So I'm literally 1 penny beneath my target right now for the night, and that's a beautiful spot to be. I'm really happy with it. I like the quadruple nines. That's really a lovely amount. Took a little screenshot of my tips on that one, just because, you know, how often does that happen? One time early in my shift, I got like a 22 on my total of tips, and I thought that was very serendipitous as well. So yeah, it's a little funny thing sometimes that give you a bit of joy, but you've got to cling to those things, man, because life is rough. So yeah, it's midnight right now. Got an hour until close on the order clock, and then of course there's the cleaning duties to do after that. So definitely making my target tonight, which is good, because things were starting out slow and I wasn't sure we were gonna get there. I thought I was maybe gonna get to my minimum tonight, but maybe not my full target of the Benjamin. But we've done it. We're doing it. Well, I ended up having a fine night tonight. I'm walking home with about 125, which is a really good take for a night, especially like it's a Tuesday night, man. That's pretty nice. And got out of the store at around 2:20, so close was more on time than not. And my closing partner and I finished roughly the same time, which is always nice for me, because that feels like teamwork to me. But anyway, it's been a good end of my week. That was rather a tough week, but at least today went nicely. It was a good day. I enjoyed myself. I made good money. Went relatively quickly. Like, I didn't feel like I was suffering through it. So I'm happy to be done. Going home.
Well, I know what you want from me. fled.